What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to do a video covering the best unduped characters in the game, characters that you can just pull from a crystal once and you're like, wow, this is really amazing. I can instantly, have a really great use for this champion, because a lot, not all, but a lot of the top tier characters in the game, such as Black Widow, Star-Lord, Thor, Scarlet Witch, and a few others that I can't think of off the top of my head, when you get them the first time, you're like, oh, that's really good, that's a good pull, but until I, pull another one of them or awaken the character, it's going to be pretty average. All of those champions are pretty yeah, they're okay, not duped, but when you dupe them, but they become like god mode, insane crazy. However, today we're going to be covering the champions that you can just pull and you're like, yes, that's a great champion, and then we can bring up to rank 4. So, going to be giving you a bit of guidance, guys. We're going to do it by class. So let's talk about, let me just quickly get my little list up here, and we're going to go through the classes and talk about, what champions are best unduped. So first up, we have the Science class. Now, in the Science class, I think both of the Captain Americas are really solid champions when they are unduped. When you dupe them, they become a little bit better, get a little bit more block proficiency based on certain circumstances. But even unduped, they are just amazing champions, just due to that having like a higher base block proficiency and being able to like block hits and take practically no damage. So yeah, Captain America, very simple champion, but also very effective. Also, Spider-Man Miles Morales, this little guy here, is really good unduped. Duping the character actually doesn't really add much to him, adds like a Venom blast, which in a lot of circumstances is not really that useful. The main thing that you want this guy for is his like evade stacks, which are really good as an Alliance War defender. So this guy, you can like pull him and straight away he's a really good Alliance War defender, definitely a rank 4 candidate. And also a champion that I think is quite good unduped as well as Electro. Electro does gain quite a bit from being duped, a lot of crit rate and stuff, but his main functionality and use in the game for a lot of people is as an Alliance War defender, because when you're attacking Electro, you take 35% of the damage back, as 35% of the damage back. That is the simple explanation of it. So yeah, he's really good. Obviously he does have counters such as Black Widow and Crossbones. However, a lot of people in the game, like 99.5% of the game, I can confidently say does not have a duped Black Widow at dupe level 99. So, he's still very effective, apart from maybe when you're at that very top tier where, everybody has like a level 99 dupe Black Widow. But again, that's probably only like the top 50, 100 alliances. Very small niche there. So, Science champions, Captain America, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Electro. A lot of the other ones do rely on kind of being duped to be pretty good in my opinion. So let's move on to skill and talk about the champions there. So the best skill champion unduped, in my opinion, is Crossbones. Crossbones is just an absolutely amazing damage champion, benefits a lot from a crit team in Quest, and can be used in a lot of aspects of the game. So he's like a really good champion to pull just straight off the bat. I have a rank 4 level 40 Crossbones, definitely recommend him, so much fun to play. But when he's duped, he gets the ability to shrug off debuffs and convert them into fury, which again helps him in many ways, both in terms of damage and also bypassing defensive ability accuracy. So Crossbones, really good champion. We also have Black Panther Civil War, who is very good as an Alliance War defender, does not need to be duped to be a great champion, so definitely can recommend that one. Who else is on my list? Agent Venom as well. Agent Venom does not need to be duped to be a good champion. His duped ability actually doesn't really do like too much for the character. The kind of like big advantage of Agent Venom is even unduped, he has the ability to just shrug off debuffs, which makes him really good for Alliance War defense, and also he's quite like a strong offensive champion to play. Got really nice bleed on his level 1 and 2. So yeah, can definitely recommend Agent Venom as like a really good champion. Doesn't need to be duped to be great. And also I put down Elektra and Hawkeye. Elektra, in my opinion, is just kind of like, well, she's kind of like the compensation prize if you don't have a Crossbones or Black Widow. In my opinion, she's a bit worse than both of them. However, she's still quite a good champion. On her level 1, she can either apply a bleed, or if the champion is bleed immune, armor break. and that gives you a 85% chance to bypass defensive ability accuracy, which is defensive ability accuracy is stuff like evade, stuff like fawns, basically anything that would trigger when the champion is being hit. So Elektra, pretty good. When she's duped, she gets assassination, which means that she can deal more damage when the target is lower health. But again, you know, she's still a good champion when she's unduped, and as well with Hawkeye, level 1 power drain, really, really good unduped champion. A lot of people used him for one of the quests that was active like about a month and a bit ago, Mignar's Cavalry Challenge, because the power drain was so valuable there. So those are probably the best champions, I would say, in the skill class unduped. Again, a lot of the other ones, in my opinion, do rely on being duped to be like really, really great champions. And let's move on to the Mutant Class. So the Mutant Class, I've actually got kind of like 2 written down as the top 2, which is Wolverine X-23. Unlike classic Wolverine, does not rely on being duped to be a good champion. However, if you dupe her, she does gain more crit and also more crit damage, so that is very, very good. And also Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is a beast for Alliance War defense. Has such like a high percentage evade chance, and when you dupe him, it's good. It gives him more attack on his crits and deep wound procs. However, you know, he doesn't need to be duped to be a really, really good Alliance War defender. Like, the evade is the best part of the champion, and he's really kind of well utilized as a great defender in Alliance War. Because even when you're fighting against champions like Black Widow, Black Widow's going to have the class disadvantage, making Nightcrawler even more annoying to kill. So yeah, it's a pretty decent champion overall. I really, really like Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler actually comes to the 4-star crystals, I believe it's like in a week or a week and a bit, so we're going to start seeing a lot more 4-star Nightcrawlers. So yeah, that is going to be, well, not super fun when it comes to Alliance War for people who hate fighting Spider-Man, because Nightcrawler is actually quite a bit worse in terms of his percentage evade chance. So yeah, we've got that to look forward to. Other champions, I guess, worth mentioning that are okay, like unduped, are also Magneto. Magneto has a heal block on his level 2 and also quite a strong bleed. Again, that has a very circumstantial use. Storm is quite a good champion unduped. When she's duped, she just gains even more damage. However, one of the best things about, especially for newer players with Storm, is that she has a really, really long stun on her level 1 and level 2 and level 3 attacks. It doesn't have like 100% chance to proc, so it can be a little bit hit and miss sometimes, quite literally. But still, it's good, it's useful, so she doesn't need to be duped to be great, but duping her will help a lot. Cyclops does rely a bit too much on being duped, so we won't mention him. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the X-Men, to be honest. A lot of the champions do benefit so greatly from being duped, especially champions like Wolverine and Deadpool X-Force with the deep wound synergy. Now, we move on to the Cosmic Champions. So all Cosmic Champions are good without being duped, and the first one I'd say is definitely Symbiote Spider-Man. He's kind of top of the list for me. Just an insanely hard-hitting champion. We covered him in the video a little bit yesterday as well, but just has so much crit, guaranteed crit on his level 2, so that's always dealing so much damage, an armor break that you can kind of reliably trigger on heavy attacks. So yeah, he doesn't need to be duped to be great, but when he's duped, he also kind of does, in a way, become an option for Alliance War defense. Gains like a really high burst of evasion whenever he uses a special attack, but for more skilled players you can play around that, so you know, he's alright, but you know, he doesn't need to be duped to be a good champion that you actually play. So also for Cosmic, we also have Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel written down as well. They're pretty decent champions. They are poison immune, do a solid amount of damage. Again, just really a lot of the Cosmic champions in terms of their abilities are just really basic, but those two champions, you don't need to be duped to be good. However, when they are duped, they can absorb kind of like energy attacks and turn that into power, and also their damage increases based on the power stored. Nowhere near as much as you know, a champion like Thor or Star-Lord would get from their duped ability, but still pretty good. Doesn't need to be duped to be great. Gamora and Drax are also pretty good unduped. Ronan as well does not need to be duped to be a great champion, and a champion that you can use to kind of like cheese a lot of stuff in the game, like for example the chapter 4 point 3 Juggernaut. If you just have like a rank 3 Ronan, you can just do that. Doesn't need to be duped to be fit for purpose. And then we have Groot as well. Groot is still a pretty badass Alliance War Defender, doesn't need to be duped to be a great champion. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Cosmic. A lot of it's kind of like a 50-50 with Cosmic. Like champions like Thor, Venom, and Superior Iron Man do very much rely on being duped to be like really, really good. However, pretty much all the other champions don't necessarily need to be duped to be great. So let's move on to the next category, which is tech. So actually quite a lot of tech champions, in my opinion, really, really greatly benefit from being duped, especially champions like Star-Lord. Star-Lord is very, very reliant on being duped to be like a super amazing champion. However, champions like Ultron, for example, Ultron is the first one that I'm going to mention on this list. Ultron does not need to be duped to be a great champion. However, if he is duped, it just adds that a little bit more. When he is duped, he converts kind of any energy damage he takes into both health and power, so that's good. However, he still has his evade, his heal, and all his other like gizmos and gadgets unduped, so he's a really, really good champion to pull unduped. Vision as well is a good champion to pull unduped. However, he does become a little bit better when you dupe him. You still have the power drain, you still have the heal block when he's unduped, so those are the kind of two core things that you want from Vision. Let's have a look. Rocket Raccoon, again, does benefit so much from being duped. Iron Patriot as well. Iron Man as well. War Machine, those champions do rely on being duped to be quite good. Civil Warrior is a champion that actually doesn't really benefit like super amounts from being duped. And now he's in like the 4-star crystals. He's a champion that's actually like quite good, but in comparison for what he's used for in the game, he's still kind of, in my opinion, a worse version of Vision. But still a very, very fun champion to play. Has a power drain, has a lot of armor up, you know, takes a little bit less damage. However, he's just not effective as Vision, just in my pure opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So for the tech, you have Ultron, Vision, and Civil Warrior. Now we move on to the final class, which is the Mystic class. Now, when it comes to the Mystic champions, so many of them rely on being duped to be really great champions. But there are two champions in particular that I don't really think need to be duped to be really good, and that is Guillotine and Doctor Strange. So Guillotine is just amazing, even as an unduped champion, deals so much damage, and also has heal reversal, which is very, very valuable. When she's duped, however, she gains a like a health steal, based on, well, a chance to steal health based on the amount of souls that she has. So this is okay. It's a little bit of extra healing and good for when you're like questing and doing all sorts of maps that are quite long, where you maybe need to heal up Guillotine a little bit. But it's not very reliable at all. So Guillotine is a champion that you can pull unduped, and is just like a fantastic champion to have right off the bat. Same with Doctor Strange as well. Doctor Strange has like all his gizmos and gadgets. You can heal with the champion. You can deal an insane amount of damage, and also, you know, he has that crazy block proficiency, so he pretty much never takes like any damage even when you're blocking, and also, you know, gains power passively, all completely unduped. The only thing that's added to this champion when he's duped is Counter Spell, which strips enemy debuffs. Again, like this really depends on the fight. This can be really, really good for some fights, but it's one of those champions that you pull where it doesn't have to be duped to be amazing. So Doctor Strange is a really, really good champion for that as well. Same with Guillotine. The other champions like Iron Fist needs to be duped to get those insane armor breaks and kind of combo that on. Magic as well. If you dupe her, she gets rewind like all of the time whenever she gains like a bar of power. Has a very, very high percent chance, so makes her amazing for Alliance War Defense, but again needs to be duped. For Jane Foster, again relies so much on being duped. Same with both the Unstoppable Colossus and the Juggernaut. And also, of course, Scarlet Witch is so reliant on being duped. She's like she's a good champion unduped, but when you dupe her, she becomes godly. So that is pretty much it, guys, for the video. We talked about some of the best unduped champions in the game. So I guess we kind of are at a scenario in the game at the moment where I think it's probably about, the ratio is probably about 70 to 30 of champions that are good, that need to be duped to be good, versus champions that, you know, you can pull and are great champions already, which, you know, I'm not too sure I feel about that. I think it's pretty fair, I guess. There are a lot of good champions that you can pull straight off the bat, and that's kind of something that I wanted to hopefully clearly communicate in today's video. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on some of the champions in the game, and I hope that hope this video gives you the knowledge to get quite excited about opening some of these champions right off the bat and some crystals. If you enjoyed this video, guys, feel free to leave a like. That would be greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel and would like to see more awesome Marvel Contested Champions and iOS gaming content, feel free to hit that subscribe button down there. That would be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, guys, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.